So the key takeaway from this survey was the gap between expectations and reality. On the whole, clients have got completely unrealistic expectations based on the actions that they're currently taking, and that risks some nasty surprises in store when it comes to retirement. So currently, around 60% of people expect to have the same or even a higher standard of living in retirement. Over half of clients only start saving for their retirement after age 35, and over 80% of people are completely unrealistic about the size of the pension pot they'll need. Looking at it another way from our survey, only 5% of people had a realistic expectation around the size of the pot that they need at retirement. The survey also highlighted the critical role that advisors play in supporting clients, helping them understand what they need for a positive income in retirement, the benefits of early engagement, and in making sure that they're on track for the retirement that they envision. Almost 2/3 of respondents said that they hadn't started saving for retirement earlier because of more urgent financial priorities. Now, whilst it's not a surprise in itself that people prioritise short-term financial demands over long-term objectives, the proportion of people involved indicates that this is a big problem, and there's a huge degree, therefore, of undersaving for retirement. We saw from the survey that 20% of UK resident clients and 40% of expat clients intend to retire overseas, with Portugal being quite a popular destination. So only 1/3 of expat clients intend to return and retire in their own home country. What was surprising within the survey was that on the whole, people actually had quite a realistic idea around the age at which they expect to retire, with almost 80% of people expecting to retire at age 60 or over. But even that's only realistic with focused saving and a good understanding of your finances. If you think about the task of funding retirement these days, thinking about funding 25 or even 30 years of lifestyle post-work is no mean feat. We need to address the widespread lack of awareness around what a comfortable standard of living in retirement costs, and also the importance of starting early. Even very small amounts saved early in your working life can have a huge difference when you think about the impact of compound investment returns and compound interest over the period to retirement. There's a real practical side to starting early as well. If you think about saving a very small amount when you first start work, and then perhaps increasing that amount by a very small amount each year, perhaps timed as your earnings increase, it's never particularly painful to save for your retirement because you're just used to that outgoing and it increases gradually over time. If you only start saving after the age of 35, the amount that you need to save is really quite large, and you're playing catch up, and you've got a huge bill that you're not used to paying, often coinciding with other big life expenses like mortgages and childcare costs as well. So it becomes more difficult. Advisors can play a key role in managing customer expectations, and they can also act as early warning guides as to whether clients are on track for their retirement through annual reviews. Clients can then adjust and act accordingly. Knowledge is power, and advisors are able to arm clients with the knowledge that they need. So many clients intend to retire overseas, and advisors can play a very important role in helping them understand the tax implications and preparing clients for the difference in cost of living between different jurisdictions. Our survey also indicates that advisors will only play a more critical role in the market going forwards, especially as we see a change in the nature of people approaching retirement, with less of those benefiting from generous defined benefit or occupational pension schemes early in their retirement and shouldering more of the burden of saving for pensions themselves.